Monza.
Hello and welcome to the Italian Grand Prix preview. It's at magical Monza. There's no other circuit like it. So I'm going to have a close look at that, and then we'll establish where the drivers are in the Castro rankings, and I'll be talking to you about one of the top Formula One drivers of the day. But first, let's check out the latest news.
While most 16-year-olds are kicking back enjoying what's left of the summer holidays, Nabil Jeffrey made motorsport history by becoming the youngest person ever to drive a Formula One car in an official test. He took part in a day of straight-line testing for Lotus Racing at the Imperial War Museum runway at Duxford in Cambridgeshire. It was great news for Britain's very own Lewis Hamilton at Spa, as the former F1 world champion came through to win a rain-affected Belgian Grand Prix. Although it wasn't such good news for fellow teammate Jenson Button, who retired shortly after an incident with Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel on lap 16. Mark Webber, meanwhile, managed to recover from his bad start to take the runners-up spot in his Red Bull, closely followed by Renault's Robert Kubica. Hamilton's win now means the Brit is back on top in the race for the 2010 drivers' title.
Monza is the most historic circuit of all. The first Grand Prix was held there in 1922, and all the greats from Nuvolari onwards have won there. Monza is an incredibly spectacular circuit. The first 5 home in one of the races were covered by less than a second. They average 150 miles an hour these days. So let's have a look at the Monza Autodrome.
Monza is one of the most famous racing tracks in the world. They call it La Pista Magica, the magic race, and it's what you might say is real Formula One. And here we go, down to the first straight, to the first chicane, braking to the maximum. After the first right-left chicane, it's down to the Curva Grande, a right turn at 245 kilometers an hour. Then another straight, and we're up to 335 before Variante della Roja in second gear. Here we go, after that it's power on again, and we head down towards the Tifosi, all of them. This is a fantastic area. 2 right-handers in a row, the first and the second Lesmos. Incredibly at Monza, 76% of the lap is on full power. That is awesome. So now we're going under the old oval circuit bridge, and then up the hill towards the Curva del Vaglione and the Variante Ascari. We're flying now, 340 clicks towards one of Formula One's classic turns, the Parabolica, which does exactly what it says on the tin. Round here like a slingshot, and you're back onto the start-finish straight. This is real Formula One.
He's a young Polish driver. Yeah, he's really good. I think he's got a lot of talent there.
He had a bad crash a few years ago, but he's come back very strongly. It took a lot of guts for him to do that.
With the right car, he's got the potential to be a world champion.
There is so much to say about Robert Kubica. First of all, he's a super bloke. Secondly, he's young. Well, he's young to me anyway. He's 25 years old. Thirdly, he's the first Formula One driver to come from Poland. He is very much a top man. Like most of them, he started in karts, primarily in Italy, became a multiple champion. He then went on and won the Renault World Series single-seater and became BMW's test driver. From there, he got a place in the team, and he had that dreadful crash, the most dramatic crash I think I've ever seen, at Montreal in Canada, and the very next year he won the race. Now, of course, Robert is with Renault, and he looks as though he's going to be there for a year or 2 yet, and hopefully he could go on with them to become world champion. So let's see where Robert Kubica is in the Castro driver rankings.
IndyCar Series leader Will Power is up 3 places to 6th this week. He's now overtaking Dario Franchitti to become the highest-ranked IndyCar driver. Button, Franchitti and Alonso drop down. Power's climb has allowed Australia to take the lead of the Castrol Nations rankings from Great Britain. Power and Mark Webber have their scores combined to make a leading total ahead of Britain. Kubica is up a spot to 12th.
Practically every Italian Grand Prix is special, but 1988 to me was very special. It was the year the great Enzo Ferrari died. And McLaren won every race of the year in 1988 except one, and that was the Italian Grand Prix. Alain Prost in one of the McLarens had an engine problem fairly on in the race. He was out of it, but his teammate Ayrton Senna led every inch of the way right down to the last lap but one. And then his car was rammed by Louis Schlesser's Williams, and believe it or not, Ferrari came home first and second. The Tifosi went mad, and I like to think that the great Enzo Ferrari, up there at the racetrack in the sky, smiled down very happy. Who knows what's going to happen this year, but I bet it'll be good. And for more information, go to CastroDriverRankings.com.